Welcome to the Trashcats Trashcast. I'm Richard.
I'm Steven.
Today we got a freestyle chill session for you.
Super chill. Not a chilly session, which is the first thing I read.
Yeah, I feel like that might just be a Cincinnati thing. You can't, lowercase L's, capital, or, lowercase I's, whatever. It kind of...
How often did you have Skyline when you lived here?
Oh, probably 3 times a month.
That's not too bad.
I mean, there's definitely times when it was more, but like I would eat it for breakfast.
Yeah. Leftover cold 3-way, for sure. Cold 3-way, covered in sriracha, a monster, and some Suboxone. You're set for the fucking day.
Yeah, man. You have to get all your work done by like 2 in the afternoon though, because that diarrhea is going to kick in.
Cincinnati breakfast. How was your week, man?
It's been good. I was going to say, I remember one morning for sure, I definitely just had a bowl of chili. I got a can of chili. And
just one morning?
A bowl. Just one in particular, I remember. It might have happened more than once, but for sure it happened once.
Where you get the cans from Kroger and they're all watery.
Yeah, and they cost like $5.99 or some shit.
Just drink
fucking bullshit.
Drink it cold from the can.
That is...
Grate some cheese on top and you got your protein shake for the morning.
You go, those old-timey, not even old-timey, just like people don't really use them anymore unless you're like camping. The can openers that's just like the pointed end, usually at the other end of like an old, bottle opener.
Yeah.
And you just open one little side of the can of chili, kind of open the other side so you can suck it down faster. Just drink it cold up out of the can. Campbell's was trying to push those Campbell soup to go things for a while where you can like it's like a microwave safe container, you take it in and then you can like sip it out of the thing. But like, yeah, man, just do that with a straight up can of chili. Fuck the microwave. Just go for it.
Oh, fuck. So how's your week been?
It's been good. No kidney stones this week, so it's been straight. It's been pretty dope.
Hell yeah.
I got little projects I've been, of course, working on. Been working on these lamps that I've been planning on for a while, and I finally coughed up the $20 I needed to do them.
That one looked up.
Like, yeah, I mean, I took some globe lights and I taped out some lines on it and then cut into the tape to make some designs in it, and then primed and painted the glass that was exposed and took off the paint today, and it gave the effect that I was looking for. So that's pretty.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty happy with it. Make a light that you could buy online for $100 for $10.99 at Walmart.
Dude, have you seen those tables that have the mechanical the mechanical sand tables?
Yeah, those are cool.
They have the metal ball, and you like program the patterns for it to draw.
Yeah, that's fucking dope.
Yeah, that would be so chill to watch. Just fade it out.
That's if I smoked more weed, it would definitely be worth investing in.
Yeah, but your whole fucking upstairs turned out dope as fuck.
Yeah, man, I can't wait for you to come up here and check that shit out, dog.
Yeah, dude, definitely. Super
What's
goth.
Yeah, the bathroom's all gothed out. I got a. Did I ever send you a picture of the bathroom mirror I got?
The coffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. As the only one that's gonna fit. It's like fuck it. I'm not gonna get a custom made mirror for this.
Right. Yeah, it looks super cool, man.
Yeah,
you painted almost everything black.
Well, the upstairs is all black and the bathroom is black.
That's a lot of it.
Yeah.
We kept joking that you should get the white carpet and then just splash a bucket of red paint all over it.
Yo, have you seen they actually have it's like a bath mat? It's a white bath mat that when you get it wet it turns red. Yeah. That's cool. I thought that was pretty slick.
Anything paint related that temperature changes or water changes is cool as fuck.
Yeah. I like I like the fact that they market it as a Halloween prank thing, and it's like, fuck, I would just have this.
Right.
I want all my carpet like this.
Have you seen the car stuff that does it with warm water? Like it's temperature changing paint, and you can and it can have like a mural painted on the car, and then like the second layer of temperature paint looks like a solid color. So like when you spray water on it or wash your car, the mural is revealed.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And it rains. That'd be sick.
Yeah. I had one dude, he's in jail for murder, but he had he had a BMW. What was it? I forget now, but he had that crazy, the 2-angle paint where it looks
yeah.
It was like, that shit's like $30,000 a quart or some shit.
Jesus Christ.
Looks super dope, but it was like, fuck. Yeah. It's too much
man.
Put into a car that you could have a fender bender at any time with.
And I always love it when you see like
his
people that have
was so ridiculous. I walked in, he was a dealer, and I walked in his apartment one time and completely empty. No furniture at all. No bed. And there was one trash bag, and it just had a book. One book. And it was one of those cheesy books on how to build a better business. I was like, this dude's about it, man. What the fuck?
That's funny. He did buy the book, and then he was like, "Nah, fuck all this."
And then he built a better business.
This is bullshit. Oh, fucking A. Or he read it all and was like, "I've ingested all this information. I've held on to it. I'm never gonna forget it.
I don't need this.
I don't need this book anymore." I always love when you see people that have like cars that are like, not worth, $10,000, and then they spend all the money on the mod kits and stupid shit and, crazy expensive paint jobs and shit. It's like, dude, you can't put, thousands of dollars worth of rims on a car that you paid, $650 for.
Right.
From somebody on Craigslist.
So ridiculous. Yeah, my week's just been okay. Just been working, grinding. Feel like I haven't had enough time lately, and it's driving me crazy. I had some goofy stuff happen. I can't say all of it, but so there's this person. I don't know if I told you this off air or not. So there's this person that we let stay sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. They showed up unannounced in like a kind of crisis-y situation. And, but apparently this person, down the street from me, there's and there's a couple really sketchy streets right at the bottom. So the last couple places I've lived, there's been dog fighting nearby. And we don't know if that's what happens down the street or not, but there's a bunch of kennels outside. And I think it's just an abusive dog owner, right? Like, I don't think like they'd have it all out that open, right? So this person who just showed up at our porch having a rough day, apparently they ran down the street and let all those dogs out and then ran back up to our house. And I was like, you can't do that. Like, you can't be here.
Dude, you can't go do
in the
fucking
hood.
B&Es and then come back to my house.
You can't be freeing dogs in the hood. Like, no. It's been ridiculous. I just have had very little time to do the stuff I want. But doing all right overall. Just got some Indian food. Got a big belly full of curry and naan. So I'm chill.
That's a good evening.
It's been a weird week, man.
Yeah, man, that kind of sounds fucked, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, all over.
Yeah, my week's been real chill.
Good. That's what dude, I like the days where it's just quiet and chill, get off work 4:30, and then I just do my shit. And I feel like every day this week, something stupid has came up, and I'm like, I just want to like do my shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yesterday, I stayed up kind of late the night before, which I haven't been doing lately, and I slept in really hard, and then I went up. I woke up and I was chilling on the couch later on in the afternoon. I just didn't feel like doing shit. And I have been fucking burning the candle at both ends lately, so I didn't feel bad about it, but I fell back asleep on the couch and kind of hung out there for a bit and played with the cat. I had all these plans of like, I gotta do this, and I ended up I finished my laundry and I cleaned around the house a little bit, after little projects that I'd been working on, and I didn't pick up after it, and so I got some of that done, took out some trash and shit, and then I didn't do shit else for the rest of the day. It was just a super chill, didn't do shit that day kind of day, and I haven't had one of those in a while.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's always it's like such a welcome thing, but it's still like I felt guilty for it.
No,
it's like the whole time I'm like, fuck, I wanted to do all these things and like I gotta do all this shit, and that kind of spawned me into like I need to kind of reprioritize my next couple months, and like because I shouldn't feel guilty for taking a day off of doing work on my own house, but doing any work, but like taking like shit that's like I'm making myself do this. I don't have to do this. This is just for me.
Yeah, but it gets that way when you're super busy. Whenever you slow down, there's like guilt with it. Like I used to have like terrible anxiety, and that's something I haven't had in like years. And then since being like in this like really productive, super busy state the last couple years, now when I slow down, it's like really hard to chill out.
Dude, it sucks.
Dude, it's terrible. I never used to feel it. Never. Like I was happy with every slow moment I came by, and now I'm like, it's hard. Like I don't like not doing something now.
My boss at work, like we'll have like a day where it's like we go in, we do an event from like 7 in the morning until like 1 in the afternoon, and then we'll go down to the market, and then we'll get set up there because we have something going on that night. And then, like I'll knock out a little bit of prep and get set up. And then like, we might have like an hour to kill. And it's like, just go, get something to eat and, dick around, like whatever for a while. And it's like, I can't do that. I can't. Or even like during an event and it's slow, he's like, go take a lap or something, like go, look at the other vendors and see what they got and, check out the festival or whatever. And it's like, I can't do it. Like I'll do like a lap, but like, I don't feel comfortable. If I do, like I'm like constantly looking back at the stand. It's like not that I don't. Oh, damn! I got busted. I didn't put my phone on silent. Oh man, we just gotta start it over from the top, Steven. Fuck.
Delete.
Delete the whole podcast. Delete the entire RSS feed.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't think he's
title. Yeah, Ricky better not fuck this one up by leaving his cell phone on.
Hashtag fuck Ricky's phone.
We'll get 100 episodes of that one.
Oh fuck. And then your phone goes off. It's not that I don't think that he's not capable, or that the people that I work with aren't capable of like handling, customers on their own. I don't know. I've always been like, I can't not be there when the shit goes down. Cause in my experience, it's always been like when I'm away is when the shit happens that like someone can't control. And it's not like, it's usually like my own employees that have that issue, rather than my boss. Right. Like anything that I can handle, he can definitely handle.
So that's the tricky part to remember, is like, that sometimes people don't need you to be there all the time.
And it's, and I try to like, but I just don't feel comfortable like stepping away for too long. It's like weird. Like I'll go to the bathroom or whatever, but like I'm going in, I'm pushing the piss out and then I'm washing my hands and going back. Like I'm not,
what about
lollygagging on the way.
What about when you're off the clock though? Are you able to like actually relax other times?
Yeah. I'm definitely been better about that in the last year or two. I think the quarantine thing really helped me do that because there was a point when it was like, there is no work. I can't go to work. It's like, I have no choice but to just fucking chill. And I took like 3 days, 3 consecutive days of doing nothing. And I slept and I, watched TV and I fucking, smoked weed a little bit. And then I started working out and that was nice to have, like, get back into a routine, which all went out the window when I went back to work. But I was still like, I was happy to go back to work because it was like, okay, cool. I have something to do. I have
there's kind of like a pre and post quarantine Ricky.
Yeah.
It did you good for sure. Hey, real quick, I want to throw it out. So, honorable mentions. We've gone back and forth on this a bit, but we decided we're going to keep them at the beginning of episodes because I feel like it's kind of important. Like if people aren't going to like the art we share, they're probably not going to like the podcast anyway. And the whole point is to put a spotlight on stuff. So fuck it. We were right the first time. We'll keep it at the beginning, but we're going to skip them on freestyles just so it doesn't take away from the organic flow of conversation like it is currently doing.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say it, but I did think it.
So,
but I definitely thought it was funny that we were like, oh, we're going to put him at the end. So next time it's going to be a little different, in the next episode, it's like, oh, and so we got some honorable mentions this week right off the bat.
We got to stick to our word.
Didn't even address it or nothing. It was I thought it was funny. So yeah, that's how that's been.
Thoughts this week?
Mostly it's just been trying to reprioritize what's, I've definitely, since this last kidney stone situation, I'm putting my health back on a pedestal. I know I need to lose some weight. I need to lose some fat.
Can that be related to kidney stone stuff at all? I'm assuming
I don't think so, but I need to anyways.
Yeah.
I want to, I should say. Health wise, I need to, but I also want to. Some people get, upset when you're like, well, why do you feel like you need to? And it's like, because I'm fat.
I don't think you're fat, but I think that is a thing.
I'm definitely overweight.
I think that is a thing though, where like, we tell, I don't know, there's been this whole movement to tell people they're perfect the way they are. Yeah. And I think we should like love ourselves how we are, but
yeah, I think there's a difference between like trying to help people have better self-confidence, because you will be better to yourself if you have better self-confidence.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm not saying that I hate myself. I'm saying that, oh, I'm fat. I need to lose some weight. And I want to lose some weight, and it's for me.
But I think
yeah.
Regardless, like even if I was like 6% body fat, which I'm definitely not, like I feel like we should always strive to have a better version of ourselves. Like we're this weird like bag of meat, right? Yeah. Like we're these shitty bags of meat, and we're like so imperfect. And all you can do your whole life is try to like make yourself a better bag of meat, like to make your mind and body better. So it's like,
are you lean like a chicken breast, or are you fucking cheddar stuffed, beer battered bratwurst?
Dude, I think getting out of high school, I weighed like 120, right? Like I was so skinny, like bad skinny. And then the first month I got off dope. In 30 days, I gained 33 pounds, right? So, and then in the last couple years, I gained a ton of weight, and then I had to lose a bunch of weight. So I'm at this weird point where, because I work out all the fucking time now, but, I still have to, try not to get fatty, because I eat, trash. I eat like a raccoon.
To work out constantly and binge eat candy.
Dude, I'll work out while eating candy. I don't give a shit. It's bad, dude. So my buddy worked, and this didn't help either. For 6 months, my dude worked. He still works, but I had to tell him stop giving me shit. He worked at the Airheads factory, and he would bring me cases, dude. I had a whole trunk full of candy. And if there's a box of Airheads in my house, I cannot stop myself. I will eat 50 Airheads in one afternoon while working out and just feel bloated and sick. I hate myself.
That's why I will spend more money on a smaller container of ice cream.
Yes.
I know I can get a gigantic, gallon of it for a fucking $1.
Stop
value wise, but I would rather have less in the house because if I know it's there, I'm gonna fucking smash it.
Yeah, I had to stop buying the gallon. What are they? A half gallon? What's a normal thing of ice cream?
A normal thing is a half gallon.
Yeah, I would eat one
regular. Yeah,
I would eat one every night.
Oh, are you talking about the smaller ones?
No.
Yeah, okay. You're talking about a big boy, a regular.
I would eat one of those every night.
Dog. Yeah.
It's ridiculous because I was working so much and in the sun and stuff and just constantly.
I can see that then.
I would drink 4 gallons of water and eat a whole thing of ice cream every night.
Yeah. We make these, we call it nice cream at work. That
sounds nice.
It's really good. Yeah, it sounds nice. It's coconut cream and fruit and frozen fruit and stuff. And we, it blends up into a thick, it's not even it's like an ice cream consistency. I was gonna say it's like a sherbet or something, but it's actually it's more it's really creamy consistency. But those have been really great during the summertime because I'll take some home and when I'm doing work on the house and I'm doing shit outside and I come home and I'm just fucking sweating and I'm so hot eating one of those will bring your core temperature down so much so quick.
Yeah.
But it's we don't add sugar to it. It's just the fruit and shit. And it feels like it's better.
What about frozen bananas?
Oh my God. Fucking frozen bananas are so good.
I throw them in the freezer with their peel on. And then I sit up here in my pajamas, no shirt. And I cut it open with a knife and eat it as it melts and the fruit gets all over me. It's the best.
Like a literal raccoon. Dude, just covered in banana juices.
So I fuck Chick-fil-A, right? Terrible place. But I went there earlier this week, right?
But I did give them my money.
Right. And you can't eat it cold, right? It's only any good.
I've never had Chick-fil-A, but it's fried chicken, so yeah.
Oh, you haven't been in the line then before.
No.
It's all little Christian kids. It's crazy. Dude, it's like
I bet you stick out real bad there.
Dude, it's like a little new age Christian cult. They're all tweens and they have double lanes and they don't take your order out the window. They take it outside. So there's all these little Christian tweens running through the cars taking orders. It's bizarre. It feels like a bad dream, right? And then they give you your spicy chicken sandwich. And it's so good, right? But you can't let it get cold. You just can't let that happen. So if you live more than 20 minutes away from where that particular Chick-fil-A is at, you have to do it while driving. It's the only option. Yeah. So you put the fries in the cup holder, you get your sandwich, and you pour all the sauces on the sandwich, and then you eat it with one hand, and it drips all over your shirt, right? And then you have to get the squeezy ketchups and you squirt it in the cup holder of fries and you snarf those up and then you get sauce all over your steering wheel. and you weave in and out through traffic while eating.
I said the alternative is you
to pull over.
Yeah.
No fucking chance. I'm not getting it all over my phone.
I love there's a Tom Segura bit, and he talks about when he goes in and out, and they give you are you gonna eat it in your car, or are you gonna go home, or whatever, and he's like, it's like, I mean, why the fuck would I eat it in my car? I don't live in my car. I could just easily take this home and eat it, but I want to eat it in my car.
Not all of us.
Of course you are, you sad piece of shit.
Not all of us have that luxury, Tom. Any other big thoughts this week?
Oh, fucking A. Nah, man, that's been it. Well, thanks good for listening.
Have you had any anger this week? Have you done anything crazy?
No, actually I haven't. I've been so, I notice that I'll have like, pre-anger where like, I'm expecting, like, I know that a situation's, coming up where I'm expecting that it's going to piss me off. Like something's going to piss me off.
And then what? You headed off at the pass?
Yeah. So like working with a particular coworker. And like, I already know there are certain things that they do that make me, that piss me off. And I don't like show that at work. Like I will voice my opinions when, people are saying nonsense shit. And I'll tell them like, no, you're wrong and this is why. But I don't like get angry with people at work. I used to real bad, like 5 or 6 years ago. And I had to have the front of house staff at the restaurant had to pull me outside, and they said, hey, you got to cool it with these people. Like, you have to stop. Like, all right, cool. And I've been fine ever since, but I was like, okay, cool. But it's like, I don't like being in that position where like I'm angry as fuck, and I know that like yelling at this person isn't the answer, and it's not going to solve the problem anyways. So, but it wasn't bad this week, so that was good. But I prepare. It's like, okay, I'm going to get pissed today. Like, I'm going to get angry at this person, and I'm going to have to deal with it. And it's like, just like internalize that and understand that this is going to happen. And like, if I prepare myself for that, I think I've talked about that before. Like, it's always easier for me to when I used to go into like a really busy Friday night or something, I know like we're going to get fucked. We're going to be, an hour deep in the weeds, we're going to have these long ass ticket times, and it's just going to go on for, fucking 6-7 straight hours like this. And of huffing fryer grease and being angry. So if I thought that way going into it, if it was that way, then it's like, I'm mentally prepared for this.
Yeah.
If it wasn't that way, then it was like, all right, cool. Then it's all right, it wasn't so bad. And that's better for me than thinking like going in with a positive attitude for some reason. It's more productive for me that way.
Yeah.
It just works.
I definitely feel that. I've been noticing more and more with myself between COVID and now this job. Like, I don't have to leave my house or interact with people. And I'm picking up more and more on all of my antisocial stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, I used to be super antisocial, and then it's like between like just like working shitty jobs or drugs or whatever, it's like there were always these reasons to be around a bunch of people. And then now that like I'm doing all right and don't need all the crazy shit in my life, like I don't have to be around like anyone, and I'm starting to pick up on how much like interacting with people, like small stuff like the grocery store, gas station, like a dinner, whatever, like how much all that shit makes me angry. Like I'm starting to pick up on like how angry I probably am a lot of the time.
Yeah. It's because it's easy to like push it aside when you're used to doing it all the time. It's like it becomes normalized, and you're like, okay, this is just how I have to deal with this.
Yeah.
When you don't have to deal with it as much, and then you're put back into it, even if it's just, like you said, the small interaction kind of shit, and it's like, oh, this is why I hate people.
Yeah, and you're like, holy fuck.
I forgot how much people are garbage.
I no wonder I'm always so fucking angry. I had to deal with all this shit all the time. Fuck this. It's weird.
Yeah.
But overall, shit's been chill.
That's good.
Angry chill.
Angry chill. That's your usual state.
Yeah, I'll take it. What about
I always thought it was funny because you have this aura about you. I think just like a visual perception, like people see you and like you don't look like a friendly person. You don't look like extremely approachable.
And like, hey, ask him for directions.
Yeah. It's like, let's go up the street. I think we can stay lost a little longer. But you are generally, without a doubt, like the nicest person, like I know, and you're super chill. And I think you've told me before, like it's just because like I'm chill and we get along. Otherwise, I wouldn't have this perception of you.
Dude, that I feel like that's what's always weird at like gas stations, grocery stores, whatever. It's like, I think people are surprised by it sometimes. I'm like, dude, I'm so fucking chill till someone does like one thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I have a one thing rule. Like you just say one thing stupid or like are a tiny bit disrespectful to like anyone, I'm just done. I hate you forever. It's a hairpin trigger kind of thing.
Yeah. I think
but like cool people would never bother me. You know what I mean?
There's just so many not cool people.
Right.
Most of the people are not cool people.
It's so like we were talking about in the string theory stuff, like sitting at a bar and trying to figure out life rules.
Yeah.
And then we were looking at, I sent you earlier this week, Destiny's theory of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so simple, so beautiful, very well written. But like you said it at one point to me. It's like it's so fucking simple. Like just don't be a dick. Like that's like the only rule you need to like live by at all.
Yeah.
It's so simple. But people are such fucking dicks.
Yeah. It's like and I think one of the main oversights that people don't get into is like before, like it's, you can't control the way that someone else is, but you can control your reaction to it. And if you take just like a couple seconds and consider the situation, like where they're coming from, like not just like what they're saying and their opinion on a thing, but like literally where they're coming from, what's their situation, like what, it's more difficult with people you don't know, but like when it's someone you work with and they're being shitty, then you can look at like, well, what's going on? Like, do they have another job where shit's getting fucked? Or like, do they have like personal shit going on maybe? And it's like, it's really easy to like, if you just stop and consider like what this person might be going through that you have no idea about, and then think like, okay, let's approach this in a more diplomatic manner than just like fucking yelling at people or fighting people. And it's like, it doesn't change anything.
Yeah. That's like the best example for that I can think of is like road rage stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's the worst fucking thing in the world when you're driving with like a friend who's like a road rager. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God, dude. I hate that so much. Like you want to die over honor of like a 10-foot section of the highway. Like you want to live and die over 10 feet of 75 south. Like fuck that shit. Like Like, people fucking suck. Just let them do whatever the fuck they want on the road. Yeah. Like, you can't be willing to die over, like, getting cut off in traffic or some shit. And it's like, you don't, like, that's, for me, that was a big perspective shift when I started thinking about, like, yeah, this dude's a dick in traffic, but, like, how do you know, like his wife isn't giving birth, or like someone's having a heart attack? Like, you have no fucking idea what's going on with people on the road. Like, oh man, you just gotta like let shit happen and just go on your way.
Yeah. I read a thing a long time ago that I thought was interesting. Well, first of all, if you're getting behind the wheel of a car and you're not already expecting, like, everyone else on the road is blind, and, you know, they're after me. They want me to die. Like, if you're not getting behind the wheel of a car like that, you don't deserve to drive. Like, that's what you should be thinking. You should be watching everyone else as if that's what's going on.
Yeah.
But someone told me, I think I read it somewhere. It's like, imagine, like, whenever you're like behind someone that's being a shitty driver or whatever, like they're going slow and they're not using their turn signal or whatever. Like, imagine like that's your grandma, right? Or like that's your mom or something. Like, that's, you know,
it's fucking hard.
React to them the way that you would want other people to react to them.
Right. That's fucking hard. But if you're able to make that switch, it makes the whole driving so much more chill.
Like, in my car, I'm going to, you know, yell shit at you, but like, I'm not going to flip you off, and I'm not going to make it obvious that like I'm trying to start shit. I'm not going to, you know, jump in front of them and, you know, brake check them. And, you know, it's not like that. It's like, you know, someone just got, I think someone actually, I know that there is a road rage, like a shooting up here. But I want to say I found out that it was like an off-duty cop or something that got shot.
That sucks for that dude.
Yeah.
Who shot him. I mean, who the fuck knows how the interaction went, but to shoot an undercover cop and not, or an off-duty cop and not know they're a cop, you are fucked.
I don't know. I don't remember the full story, but I want to say like I don't know, they got cut off or some shit like that or whatever, but they followed this cop into like a gas station parking lot and shot him.
What a dick.
Like, waited until they got out of the car, and I was like, God damn, dog. It was like in the neighborhood that I used to live in too.
Damn. Dude, I feel like I've probably told you about this, but you know that tunnel off of that goes into 71? It's the 75 tunnel. And you know, there's the tradition of honking your horn.
Yeah.
I knew this dude that thought you were supposed to hold your horn through the whole tunnel. And I was with him on 2 different occasions where he blew out his horn. As soon as he'd enter the tunnel, he'd pound the horn, and you'd see cars like
fucking idiot.
And he'd drive through the whole tunnel with it just blaring until you'd get to the end, and the horn's like. And then this other dude,
who are you getting in cars with?
There was this other dude I knew. This dude was, he literally was a psychopath. He did some crazy shit later. But he drove around with his cup holder full of batteries so he could whip them at other cars.
Oh, fuck.
Every time you got in the car with him, he had multiple road rage incidents. He would throw multiple batteries on a 5-minute drive. And one time we were in that same tunnel, the honk tunnel, and he threw out, I guess he kept it in the car just for this occasion. He kept a whole bucket of golf balls and threw them out the window. And they rocket through that tunnel like a fucking vortex, dinging every car.
God.
Just mayhem.
Oh my God.
Dude, you are death on wheels.
I was like, all the windshields.
You could murder like 10 people doing
Oh my
that shit.
God. And you were in the car. You're an accomplice.
I know. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? What are you doing?
Oh, Christ.
Fucking crazy people, man.
Jesus, fuck, man. People are fucked.
I'm so glad I don't have to see these fuckers anymore.
It's like you're just getting in the car with these fucking people.
You're like, this is a life or death situation. 50-50, we get to our destination.
It's like, dude, I'm not going today. That's my ride now. Right. I'm good. Fuck that.
Cool. Oh, fuck. So I got some.
Drive me up to Kenwood Mall? Like, and you just took acid? No, thank you.
Oh, man. So I got a couple questions for you later, but do you want to get through creative stuff first? Like going through any good content, creative shit this week?
Besides the little house project kind of stuff, I really did enjoy doing the light fixtures thing. That kind of felt like a art project. That was fun. I've been watching. I started watching Loki.
That sounds terrible.
It sounds terrible. No, it's actually really good.
The cover of that movie is the most garbage thing I've ever seen.
Oh, it's the series.
Is it the Marvel character Loki?
Yeah.
Lamest shit ever. Everyone loves it. I don't get it, dude.
It's good.
Explain to me why I'm going to look up the cover. How do you Loki? L-O-K-I.
The cover of a Disney Plus.
Oh, we're going there. We're going there.
Yeah,
look at the fonts they chose.
Okay, I agree. The logo looks shitty. The logo does look shitty.
How could they do this?
Well, it makes sense in the context of the show. It does end up making sense. It's just not communicated through like the first half of the first season.
But his character is the most smug, condescending little twerp. Like his whole character is like, I'm a trickster. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the story of what Loki is in mythology anyways.
I get that, but he's that actor. Dick. I like that actor too.
Yeah,
but
that's why I think it's good. Fucking Tom Hiddleston's a great actor.
I find it infuriating. I cannot stand watching him.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem to me.
I think it is. I don't know why it makes me so angry, but it does.
Fucking God damn it, what's his name's in it? Owen Wilson's in it.
Nah. But the whole Marvel universe is like played out, right? Like I'll still occasionally catch one, but like I never was that into it, but I'm definitely over it.
I think they're fun. I never got into them big before. I probably got into them when I heard they were talking about doing the end game with the Infinity Gauntlet and shit, and it was like, oh fuck, like that's a thing. And they're like, oh yeah, they've been like leading up to it in like the post credit things for years, and it's like, oh, now I'm interested. It's like one of the few things I actually knew about the Marvel comics was the Infinity Gauntlet and shit. And once that became a thing, it was like, okay, cool, I'll watch these and I'll get into them. And I like even like the first Iron Man movie wasn't that bad, but like the third by the third one it was trash.
No,
whatever. Also,
Tony Stark.
Okay. Also, it was how long ago it was when it came out that I watched it. I liked it. I liked it when it came out. I haven't seen it in a long time, but still, I stand by the decision that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is entertaining.
I think the newer ones are decent. Like Endgame was fun. I don't know. It's just for whatever reason, all the actors are just so douchey. Like. Yeah, they're all like good in other stuff.
They're comic book superheroes.
But why do they have to make them such douchiness? Like they're such assholes.
Okay,
like,
let me.
I think they're condescending.
They're less douchey than DC character shit.
I don't even know if anyone's seen DC stuff. They've just failed for the last decade, right?
Exactly. Like they're all like they take this like really really serious shit and they try to like, oh, but this is like dark comic, like this is like Marvel, but you know, dark and serious, and it's like it's.
So do you think
dickheads? Do
you think people are just watching it because it's the only like modern representation of superheroes, unless you're into comic books, like?
No,
is it just watching by default?
Watch it. I think people are mostly are interested in it because it's like, oh, it's kind of pop culture right now.
But why?
I like a lot of like literally the cinematography of it is really good.
I get it can sometimes be. I'm being a little like shitty on purpose, but like, why are all these adults in the superheroes? Like,
well, because they grew up with comics before they had movies.
But I don't play with my toys anymore. Why the fuck do they still need Superman or Batman in their life?
Well, I don't think it's about they need.
It sure seems like it.
Well, there are definitely some that do.
But it's like a stunted thing. Like what? Like I get like a casual viewing or that was fun. Like you watch them, but you're not like into them. Like you're not collecting adult action figures. That shit's insane, right?
Yeah,
that's weird.
Now, what I will say is, a fandom of any kind that is extreme is a lot.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the hot take. Is I don't understand. I don't like anything enough to collect anything. Like. How could as an adult you want to collect shit of like to be that big of a fan of something? It's a little weird.
So there's like certain things that I guess it wouldn't be a collection. I was gonna say like collection of a certain brand is weird, but like I also like if I'm gonna buy a knife right now, like the ones that I'm gonna go for is from a certain brand. Because that's just a brand that I trust.
Unrelated. I got to send you something later. I know a knife maker that has been doing some awesome Damascus pattern stuff that I think.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm always down to, look at some shit like that. But I get it in my head that like, oh man, those are really cool. And then I look at like, they're like, $10,000 and you're like, fuck man, god damn.
But even that, like, right, you like knives, right? You collect some knives or you have some special ones.
Yeah.
But
like,
you're not buying.
I wouldn't say I collect knives. I have a collection of knives, but those are like work tools.
That's what I mean. Like in the sense, like if you collected a ton of fucking knives, I'd be like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like I might have like 6 in a drawer, but I'm not buying every one that comes out from the new set. Like, I just don't get the
I kind of have a collection of like enamel pins. Like I have a decent amount of those.
It's a little different because it's art. Like I do think that's cool.
It's a wearable thing.
Yeah, and I still see how someone could hate on like. I don't know. I just think the hardcore fandom of a character, at least I'll even specify it to a character, is weird to me.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. I do have a friend that I play D&D with, and he has, one of his hobbies is making like Gundam models and shit, and has been like one of his hobbies for years. He's an older dude. He's got like all these old fucking vintage G.I. Joe shits. And fucking old vintage like Godzilla shit and like Cthulhu shit. I think that's kind of cool though.
See, I still think that's weird, but I wish him the best. Like
it's not part of his personality traits. It only is in the way that like he likes, like he's an artist and he likes old monster movie kind of aesthetic shit.
It's
but
chill.
It's not like it's, he's got his entire house is decked out with old shit. He's got a hobby.
Yeah.
That he builds and like models and whatever of shit. I
mean, like I'm hating, but I don't really care. Like if somebody gets enjoyment from it, like that's their thing. Like I'm all for it. if I was friends,
you don't have Iron Man pajamas and bed sheets and matching bed sheets,
or just if I was friends with someone and I had never seen their house, and I finally come over, and they have a ton of cabinets full of superhero action movie shit, Marvel stuff. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna think about this a little different now. Like,
I'm gonna go get a hotel. I'm not staying here.
Yeah, like I wouldn't like. I don't know. It's just a little weird. I don't hate on him for it, but it's just a little weird.
Loki's good.
I can't co-sign that.
There are 6 episodes of it. It's worth a watch, and then they're not that long.
Oh boy. What about so you've been doing house stuff? I've been working on a little bit of art. I haven't been getting much done, which has been a little frustrating. But I've been putting way more time into shit, which feels good. I feel a lot more proud of the stuff I am finishing. But I definitely wish I had more time for shit.
Yeah.
You have Halloween watch movies.
No, what I meant was like Halloween's coming up. We're on that Halloween watch. It's coming. It's inevitable.
Yeah. Real quick, I got one. I've been watching older stuff lately, and I just started this movie. I got interrupted like right at the end, but I'm going to finish it after this. Probably The Conversation. It's it's from the 70s with Gene. What is his name? Gene Hackman. And it's really fucking good so far. I've been enjoying some older movies lately.
That sounds really familiar. I'm not sure if I watched it, but I think I know what that movie is.
He's an undercover, like security, does spy kind of shit, like what the fuck, undercover surveillance shit, and he's become paranoid from.
Okay, yeah,
and it's really good so far. But I've been enjoying, like, I miss film. I feel like as I'm getting older, I like stuff that's older than even before I was born. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been going back more than forward lately with content.
Hey, the most I've gone back lately has been watching a lot of old Norm Macdonald clips.
Yeah.
That's been they keep showing up on my YouTube feed now. So I'm watching those.
I've been we just finished editing the episode. I've been thinking about him and just a lot of the ethical stuff a lot lately. That stuff plays on my mind. Anytime we do anything philosophy or like ethics stuff, I think about it all fucking week, for better or worse.
Yeah, man. Especially like when it's something like we know it's coming up. That entire week prior, like when we did Free Will, I was definitely thinking about that a lot beforehand. Just like, like when you do like the shower conversation, shower thoughts kind of thing. Like I'm just like in my own head.
Yeah.
For a minute, and that's what I think about. Or like when I'm doing prep at work, and it's like I'm doing, muscle memory kind of shit. That's where my thoughts go, is like stuff like that.
After we finish the episode, I don't know about you, I always have those extra shower thought things where I wish I could have added a thought on something. I'm like, fuck, I have a better perspective than I did earlier, kind of thing.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, I got a couple that I've been thinking about this week that I'm going to run by in a bit. But I like in a way how when we do those kind of things, it kind of sets a theme for the week. It's like Free Will week. Like you have all week to think about it, and you're just kind of like playing with an idea or concept for a couple days, and it's nice. Yeah,
I usually I'll talk to it with my boss or with other people that I'm chilling with. Like I'll mention like, also we're doing a thing on whatever this week, on black holes this week or something, and it's like I get like some of their opinions and some of their thoughts, and I think that's like a prehensive way to like kind of collect my own thoughts on it and feel that out, but also get someone else's perspective before going into it, and that's always fun to do. Don't always get the opportunity, but I feel like that's like doing a podcast before the podcast.
Exactly.
Practice run.
Definitely. That's what good friends are for, practicing your podcast on.
Yeah. Hey, let me guinea pig you real quick.
I guess we're going to get into that more a little bit, but what do you got? You got any big plans to accomplish before the end of the year?
Yeah. So that was one of the things I was thinking is like,
it's going to be Halloween and then New Year's before we fucking know it.
Right. And it's like, I have a set list of things like I need to get done before like winter shows up. And it's like, I want to, like one of them's like, we need to get glass block windows in the house. So when it snows a bunch, it's not going to, leak into we don't know that we have any leaks in the basement. It's been raining like heavy the last few days and we haven't seen anything. So we're really confident about it, but ice makes shit shittier. So
yeah,
we'll
expand.
We want to get that fixed up. But like little goofy shit like that, like I want to get done. So it's like, instead of like, I'll also have all these little lists on my phone of shit that like, oh, do this today. But like, if I structure out like just a plan of have this done by this week and this done by the end of this month and this done, like in a timeline, that'll help me kind of chill out about it. So I'm not going for it 24/7, but also, I think I'll probably spend less money on shit to do projects with.
Yeah,
I've dumped probably, if not $1,000, close to it on just aesthetic shit.
You've had a lot of other costs lately too.
Yeah, that's what it's like. We're buying this new furnace and we're going to have to pay to someone to come out here and fix this fucking shed and shit like that. It's like, it's not cheap shit. It's like, it's not something that I can do myself.
Yeah.
So I have to pay someone to do it.
I had one of these therapists I see told me this week, she's like, it's very clear you have a high value placed on aesthetics, and we weren't talking about like physical things, because it's interesting. You value physical aesthetics a lot, and I feel like I don't much at all. But it's so important. Like aesthetic is a value. Like it's I don't know, thought of like just how things look, but it is like I feel like it's almost an ethical value in a lot of ways.
I think it's also like they say like when your house is messy and like your room's mess, like it's a reflection of like what's going on in your brain, and like some of that's core shit, like some of it's I can feel like some of it's
Jordan Peterson says.
Yeah, I feel like it's somewhat realistic though.
It is.
It's because think of like the comfort when you like deep clean everything, your house or whatever, and you're like, that kind of refreshing, like, oh, this is a clean slate kind of thing. And I've been a lot better about that lately in general, but like, even just like the decorative shit, like all the white walls and shit, I fucking hate white walls. Like I want to do at least hang art and shit on it. Like I hate having blank shit. And like when I can have, especially now that I can paint my fucking walls, I've never lived in a place where I could paint my walls before besides my parents' house. And it was like, I can't not do that and set myself up to be in the environment that I want to be in. I feel like I've worked hard, my entire adult life. I deserve to have a, like my castle, my place where I can feel like I'm more at home.
Yeah, maybe I'm like just behind you and just like getting to those stages, because like all my effort goes into like making the art, and then I never put anything up. Like pretty much the only decorating I've ever done on a wall is putting holes in it. Like, dude, I've never decorated anything in my life. It's whatever the walls are when I get there, because I don't plan on being there long. Like, it's just whatever comes stock. I'm like, fuck it, I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I might be getting to that stage soon. I'm just 5 years behind.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. I think there's it might have just been the last time with last recording. I said, there's something beautiful about the, the minimalist. Like if you have a dresser and you have a doormat, you have too many things.
Yeah.
Kind of life. And it's like, I really do romanticize that a little bit because I think there's something beautiful about not having the, being able to just pick up and go kind of thing.
I think
it's like, I got family here. Like I got my job. And it's like, I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
Like I'm building something here.
See, that's where I want to get to. This is the first time I have, like, I'm getting there. So I'm probably going to see it very differently, like a year from now. And like you were saying, you got some goals for the new year and stuff. And it's like, I have no goals. Like right now, everything's long term because I'm in the grind. I'm starting the grind stage. So it's like everything just needs to stay stable and consistent for a while. And then I can start to like get those goals again. Right now, it's just like I'm looking through the tunnel, but there's actually some light ahead kind of shit.
I'm finally at the point with mine. I realized the other day, like I need to find a home for where I'm going to long-term store like tools and stuff like that. And it's like, I want them to be accessible enough that I don't have to go down to the fucking basement to get, a thing that I need. But like if I need a fucking tape measure or a screwdriver, but like right now I have to keep them. Like I have 2 tape measures. I keep one on the second floor and one on the third floor. And I have to have a screwdriver on each floor. And, the drill, I usually try to keep in a central location near the stairs. So it's like easier to get to because I'm always like every day it's like I need the fucking impact driver for something, or I need this drill, or I need these bits. And it's like, I don't want to have to go, stop what I'm doing, go up to the third floor, grab that, go back down to the second floor, and then realize, oh, I need a screwdriver. And there's, it's up on the third floor. So it's like, I need it to be accessible
in every room.
Yeah, it's like exactly. It's like I need a fucking tape measure and a screwdriver in every goddamn room and a level.
Dude, all the years I was doing like construction bullshit, I just have kept like a bag in my car, and it's like in the trunk, and it has the bare minimum, like a hammer and like maybe 2 other broken things. Dude,
in a Kroger bag?
Right. The idea of owning tools sounds like the worst thing in the world to me. Like my boss has all these cabinets of tools. Old boss has all these cabinets of tools, and he's got to figure out where to put them when he moves. Like I cannot imagine owning tools. Like that sounds like the worst thing in the world to me. I never want to own a tool.
Why?
Why would I want it?
It sounds like that's like a dream to me. It's like have just like power tools at my access and like hand tools, like multiple sets of hand tools.
I cannot imagine a feeling that way. And I get it because it's like I needed them so often too, right?
Right.
But I don't want to have to own a stupid saw.
What's going to happen when you need something sawed?
Exactly, but I don't want it. I don't want to have to own that and put it somewhere and like get a good deal on a saw and buy a new blade. Like that sounds terrible.
I'm extremely excited about buying tools. Like I've had like access to, so when I was, of course, when I lived with my parents, like my dad's done, like utility work and like, engineering kind of work for as long as I can remember. So he's always had like tools and stuff. So I always had access to like a drill and, all kinds of hand tools and shit if I ever needed it. And then when I moved out, it's like I had an old, electric corded drill but it's like,
those are the worst,
I hate having to like, I can use this drill as long as it's in, within 2.5 feet of a fucking outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, so I finally invested in a nice, battery drill set. and it's like, and a, you know, impact driver and shit. And it's like, it's changed. It's changed my life. No, it really has. It makes, oh my God, it's made my life so much fucking easier. Because like everything that I've been like putting, like furniture I'm putting together and shit for like the first like 2-3 weeks I was here, I'm like using a screwdriver for fucking everything.
But what do I need a drill for if I have a quarter? Like any tool I've ever needed, it's because someone wants me to have that tool. They're like, we want you to have that tool to do a job you don't want to do. I've never used a tool because I wanted to.
Well, okay, that's what the difference is then. Like, I think the thing I use tools for is things that I want to do.
What could you enjoy doing with a tool? Just buying them.
Yeah, like fucking changing my light fixture covers and plates, and
that doesn't sound fun. I have quarters for that. I don't need a drill.
Installing the fucking towel racks in the bathroom.
See, I can't imagine installing a towel rack for free.
And not even your own. You want someone to pay you to do it?
I would just nail a nail through the wall. Now we have a towel rack.
Drape your towel.
What do I need a towel rack for when I have a floor?
Oh, God damn it. Oh, fuck.
Do you want to switch it up a little bit? I like the thought you had of what this podcast has kind of become, and I think in a lot of ways was and was not our initial intentions. But
oh yeah,
I like it this way.
It's basically it's therapy for us. You know, I definitely see for me. I mean, you know what it initialized as was, you know, at least, you know, what I think is, you know, we talk on the phone, you know, maybe once a week. It was probably less than that. It was probably like once every 2 weeks or something, but it was, you know, we'd talk for a couple hours and it would just be good conversation. It was fun. And then I think really what it is now, especially when it's like we like doing the research and like learning some stuff along the way, but, you know, like just getting your thoughts out about something. I mean, that's what therapy is, right? Is you go out and talk to someone that's, you know, impartial, which, you know, I feel like the listenership is the therapist.
They're the therapist.
I'm trying to roll that out like,
and they never give us any fucking notes. They're the shittiest therapists ever. They're like, no, just talk amongst yourselves for another hour. But it really has just become an excuse to hang out and to explore our thoughts on different things. Man. That's what's become really fun about it.
I realize that in doing this, I'm forcing myself to, in a good way, forcing myself to collect my thoughts and, you know, I don't want to say solidify my opinions, because that makes it sound like I'm like,
yeah,
you're not open to change, but like it's solidifying, like getting down to like this is what I think. This is how I think about things, and this is why I think about these things in this way. It helps me break down my own thoughts and the way that I think, in a way that I have never had before, because I considered going to therapy for a while, but I never did.
You still should.
Yeah, I definitely think it'd be a good idea.
I feel like everyone should have a therapist and a podcast.
Yeah. Almost everyone does have a fucking podcast now, man.
It's a lot.
Even if they, you know, only get like 2-3 episodes in and then stop, they still try to start one.
Yeah. You're even just recording audio of yourself. It's a fascinating thing to hear yourself speak something you either still agree with or don't agree with anymore.
Yeah.
But like you said, like I feel like a lot of times we don't reach like concrete conclusions on things.
Right.
But it's more, you hear yourself exploring a thought or idea. And to me, that's been very interesting.
Yeah.
I feel less solid on more things than when we start on them, you know?
Yeah. And I think that comes with, with having new information and more information and looking at it from multiple angles. I think that's just another clear way to see that, like, of course, like not everything's black and white. It's all grayscale, and there's multiple ways to understand so many scenarios. I mean, always like still like definitely absolutely fuck Andy Warhol, but
you say that, and then we're gonna do an Andy Warhol episode and get all confused.
Like, oh my god, do I like Andy Warhol?
Oh fuck. No, but that's something. It's so goofy, but something different. Therapists have told me forever is that I was always too black and white, too extreme, between extremes on things. And I think just exploring ideas more openly with someone else helps a lot.
Yeah.
And it's, I like the idea of knowing less about something. Like when I say knowing less about something than when we start, it's just like, I don't know. It's freeing to not have to have the strong conclusion or opinions on things.
There's the saying. It's something about the smartest people in the world are smart because they know what they don't know, or they're aware of what they don't know.
Yes,
or something like that. Or it's like it's when you realize like, wow, there's just so much about this that I didn't realize. It's humbling, and it makes you realize like, wow, I can't, like, who am I to make an opinion on this, or who am I to place strong judgment upon this, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. You reminded me of a couple things. Do you remember the old smoke I used to get called Terror?
Terror?
Yeah, that was the name of it for years.
No.
I know you've had it before too, but it was just called Terror because it was super paranoia. But
sounds like a good ass time.
Yeah. But one of my favorite people in the world, his whole thing was that no matter, you can always be right in any conversation, because all you have to do to be right is to say you were wrong, kind of thing. And he was, he like really lived that though. Like that's a hard thing to be like, but you reminded earlier when you said like a messy room, messy mind type of thing. His thing was always, if you go into someone's home and the dishes are above the sink line, it's a very strong indicator they're unwell. And he left it kind of ambiguous like that. I there's weird things. He was one of those people, he could like look at your face and like tell your story. He was the person that would sit on the floor, sitting on the floor, he'd read 12 books, one page at a time in a circle. He's one of the most fascinating people I've
wild.
Ever. But he could like look at anyone and understand more about their mind, like just from their body, like than anyone I've ever met. It was like watching like Sherlock Holmes do his little like analysis. It was so wild.
Yeah, that's some weird shit.
But I wish we were on that level. But like,
I wish we were smart.
Right. Wish I wasn't dumb. But going through these things, like, I don't know, there's value in feeling dumb and having to like find out something, Like I don't know a lot of this fucking shit. Yeah. It's fun finding shit out.
There's a song that comes to mind, and my dad, if you're listening to this, the fucking Scatterbrain, a song called Logic. And it starts off with like, this is like a lesson in logic, and they're saying like the basic formula, if A is B and B is C, then A is C.
Yeah, that's
so like if you're always right and they disagree, then they're wrong. That's just how that goes.
It's been really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've stuck to the same formula of it's just a conversation. I think when we first started off, I think we may have put it in a context of like, oh, we need to make this like, you know, because you try to build from like other podcasts that you'd like.
And be like a presentation or
yeah.
We still like do a project, but it's
we still present information, but I think it's still we present information in the context of a conversation.
Yeah, just us exploring it.
It said it's therapy for two trash cats.
Yes. You know, here's another one. So friends that don't give a fuck, right? Like not that they don't care about you, right? But they don't care. I don't even want to say they don't care about themselves, but right. But like people, and I think I used to be one of these people, and that's why I'm been kind of stuck on it lately. But like the type of people that are like legitimately good people, right? But they don't have any like goals or dreams, and they just kind of bum around, right? Like they might, it's not that they're shitty people, and a lot of people would be like, oh, because they're not doing X, Y, and Z, they're a piece of shit, right? Like definitely don't feel that way, but like
they're not ambitious.
Yeah, and I don't think of us as like super ambitious in the way like we want things in life, but we're not like cutthroat, you know, capitalism, money, power, but like it feels hard to like be close to people that don't want anything.
Yeah.
And it didn't used to be that way. And I feel a real mix with those people sometimes now.
I've had awesome coworkers that were like extremely like talented line cooks and whatever, and people that I would definitely hire to work with me on like jobs, or like if I'm doing like a catering thing, like they're one of the first people I'd call up. But that's one of the things I talk to people about is like, like conversations during like cleaning and shit like that. Like, you get into the deep conversations then, like after the long rush.
Right.
So what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? Like, what are your goals?
Sarasota.
Cool. Like what are your goals? Like, what do you want to do? What do you want out of life? And I'm like, I don't know.
Dude, that makes me
like, dog, you're my age. Like, I had goals, like, when I was, coming out of high school.
Even when I didn't have goals, I had goals. Even if I was, like, suicidal, strung out, my goal would be, like, if somebody asked me that, I still knew I wanted to do more drugs and die. Like, I still could answer the fucking question.
Yeah.
When somebody can't say what they want at all, it makes my head like want to explode. Like it freaks me out.
It's like, how have you not thought about this at length? How have you not spent sleepless nights like thinking about like, what am I doing? Where am I going?
Yes.
What's my life leading towards, and how can I change it, or how can I stay on this path or whatever?
It's like, if you don't know what you want, like, why the fuck did you show up for your shift today?
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you here?
Yeah, that's dude, what I would have stayed in bed. Fuck.
Yeah, dude.
What are you working for?
Right. I can't get my head around like the idea of like not wanting. And what it confuses me is I've spent so much time like hopeless or not, like just not caring about things, but I still can't imagine like having no aspirations of even just being like free from needing things, even if it was like somebody answering that question, like, I want to not have to work or need things. I just want to be like safe and have peace. Like, I can get that, but not having any answer makes me just freak out. Like, I'm like, then why am I talking to you? Fuck out of here. Like, if you can't answer me what you want, then why the fuck did you even answer me asking you this?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's a whole. Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't, and I guess it literally does just boil down to the whole, like, it's not. They don't have the ambition. They don't have the.
Yeah, it's not
that mindset. I don't know, but I don't get it. It's like, it's one of those things that makes me separate. Cause in my head, like, I know the hallway analogy again, it's like, I feel like, for the most part, we're all on the same path. We're all floating on the same rock. We're all, we're given different circumstances when we're born, but, on a molecular level, we're the same. And I know that our brains differ, our, thought processes differ, whether it's based on, our genetic buildup or based on, what lot we were handed to work with in life.
Yeah.
I feel like that's still, you should have some kind of a, aspiration, even if it's just like, I want to save up some money and, get a nicer place. And it's like, that's still a goal. It's still like, it's not, it doesn't have to be, like, oh, I want to own, 10 restaurants and do this and that. Like, those are wild goals.
Right. Like,
for someone that's just working in one.
Like, those people are just like, they're just lost without a fucking compass. Like, I feel like in your hallway, right? Like, they're just wondering about bumping into people. And I feel like in my hallway, like, they're not even in there, but their fucking hallway is blocking my road, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're in the fucking way. And, like, if you look at, like, I think that's why, like, we in like pop culture, movies, whatever, like, we always respect the gangster characters or the villains, because, like, even if they're in the wrong, it's like they're ambitiously, like, building towards a goal, right? Yeah. Like, my dude in prison, like, that I went to his apartment, like, all he had was his business book, right? Like, that dude had a fucking goal. Even if he was a piece of shit, like, I respected his, like, want to do something, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I get feeling lost, but, like, I don't know. The people that just don't give a fuck at all, it's just so confusing. It makes me frustrated.
Yeah, if you're not, when you're going down the hallway, if you're not, like, looking around at the doors that you pass and, like, trying to figure out, like, well, what's ahead,
or even what's behind, something. But what about, like, I feel the same way between makers and doers. Like, I don't get people that just want to do things. Like, if you're not making something, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. I know that's a me thing. Like, I don't think it's wrong for people want to live or gain value through experiences, but I don't understand it either.
I think it's interesting you said makers and doers. I've always heard thinkers and doers.
It's makers. Thinkers are a waste. Like, if you're the best philosophy person ever, you have the most interesting thoughts, but you never write anything, like, you were so fucking selfish. Like, you did nothing.
I think that I don't think it's like thinkers and just like, oh, like Socrates and Plato and shit, but, like, thinkers in the way of, like, these are leaders, like, or people that can not even just has to be leaders, but, like, people that can, like, okay, there's a problem, let's figure out a solution. Like, instead of, like, rather than like someone who's a doer would be like line cook. You know, if you think of it like in the restaurant hierarchy thing, like your chef, I mean, usually you're both, but like your chef's a thinker. You know, they are the ones that's like, we're going to do it this way and we're going to whatever. Like this is this is the structure of how it works. And then, you have like your line cooks that are the doers, and it's like their whole job there is to execute this person's plan.
But you're like, in that you're still all making things. Like, I mean, like,
yeah. That's why I say like this. The distinction isn't like people that are doing are people that are making things happen.
Sure. But what about like the people that like the goal of their life is to vacation different places, or to travel, or to go to concerts, or to experience a drug, whatever, like to just do things for the sake of doing them. I can't understand. I cannot understand that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to make anything. Like, you don't want to leave anything behind that only you could have done.
I understand that philosophy of like why people want to do that. I think it's a more selfish thing. Not saying that it's a bad thing, but I think it's more of like they crave the self-fulfillment more than that is their form of self-fulfillment, where you and I get more fulfillment out of creating and doing things.
Yeah, it's the whole philosophy of fun thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with fun, right? But I don't understand. I don't understand how you could feel fulfilled if the point of your life was purely for the fun of living it. Right? That's where I get confused. Because I feel like most people, like if they're not makers, they're a doer. That's kind of like the rule. So like if they're not creating something, they are just doers. They're just living. They're just gathering experiences, having fun. Like, but I don't understand that. Like, because that's like their philosophy of fun, experience, whatever. Like, I feel like this sounds like so cold, or like that they're.
No, I get what you. I'm quiet because I'm thinking about, like, I'm absorbing it. I think it's a cool way of looking at it, because I'm still processing the makers and doers thing. I never heard anyone phrase it like that.
I just like to me, those people, like I love a ton of people that way, right? But they don't create anything. Like, to me, it's like they're wasting all of their life.
Yeah. So let me think about. Let me throw this one out here. Like, doctors and nurses and shit.
Waste. Useless.
So like, they're like, especially people that like work in like nursing homes and shit, like they're doing a job that's mostly like helping other people. It's not creating anything new. And especially in like a nursing home situation, like those people, like it's just a temporary, what they create is a mark on someone's life that is a temporary blip of someone that's usually like they're about to die kind of thing. So in that way, it is a self-fulfilling thing, assuming they enjoy their job and they, they're, caregiver kind of thing. Like, it's a very specific kind of person that can do it and gets fulfillment from it.
Yeah, that's a form of pure empathy. Like, that's an excellent example. But like, I think of them, or even like, let's say even my own therapist, right? My own doctors, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing things that directly benefit me, that like save or help my life, right?
Right.
But I cannot And they've been awesome to me, right? I respect them very much. I'm definitely
But you don't understand that lifestyle.
I can't imagine doing those things,
right?
And not wanting, even if it's not your job or whatever, like in your free time to have something that you're making.
Yeah.
To me, that feels way more important than your doctor work.
Right. Yeah. No, like, that's okay. Now I've reached the common word, the connecting point with you, because I feel the same way.
I know.
Like, I can't possibly imagine having. I mean, even in my day job, I feel like I like my day job because I do get to make things. I get to be creative and do things. So that's why my job is fulfilling. It's not a routine. Well, this is what we do. This is what, it goes this way, and you wake up and rinse and repeat. Mm-hmm. But even then, I still need to have some kind of outlet outside of work of different projects and stuff that I want to do for me I'm not doing for a business, and something that's not food. I need to do other shit too.
I think you want to make more things though.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I say. I need to, like, even like the projects like for home, like it's fulfilling for me. It's something that I get to be creative and do stuff. And if it's just like painting a thing that already exists, it's like I'm having fun. Like there's the old mirror that used to be in the bathroom. That's all, doesn't fucking fit in there, and they don't know why the fuck they put it there is a bad idea. It's like I have this old mirror now, and it's like, I guess I could, scrap it, but like I can do something cool with it. Like I do have a place where I could go, and I think it would look good at the end of the hallway or something, but like I don't want to just have a straight mirror there. I want to do some shit with it.
Can I ask you this though?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's just like scratching that itch, or do you want to make other things? Like, do you feel?
I think that does it for me. I mean, I guess if I had, I mean, I can't even say it because I definitely had time last summer to do more creative shit, or just like to make books or do something, and I just didn't do it. So it's not about like if I had more time, I would. It's that like I like working with stuff like that, or like I definitely get a thrill out of working with like found material and like scrap objects. Like I had that old desk that I destroyed in the move that ruined my day, but I turned that into a like a bar that I have up on my third floor now. And like I get a thrill out of that, of like recycling and like upcycling shit into something that's nicer or something that's more suitable to my needs. That's really fun for me.
I guess what I'm wondering is like, do you think everyone has like something we're meant to be obsessed with? This is all like purpose. Like, do you feel like all the like people that are lost, like wandering around without a goal or just living through experience, right? Do you feel like everyone is supposed to be, I feel like everyone, how I see it is everyone's supposed to be to be creating something. And like if you're not, you haven't found what you're supposed to do. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just like my own obsession. I feel like there's just like no point to who we are. And like if we're not leaving behind some sort of body of work that like is a reflection of who we are, then there was no point.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of cold for me to think this, but I feel like no, maybe not everyone's meant to have a thing. Maybe it's like maybe they have a purpose. I don't want to say they don't have a purpose, but their purpose isn't to create a legacy, if you will, or create a thing to be remembered by.
But I
don't think it feels good to say that or think that. But I feel
I
like
get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Like, not everyone's a player character. Some people are just NPCs.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying though. But I don't feel the need for myself to be remembered as a person, right? But I just feel like I want something that reflects like my soul, for lack of a better word. Something that shows like who I am as a person. And it like I don't think it's like one thing in the sense like when I don't have my computers because I'm in fucking rehab or whatever, like I'm going to write or I'm going to like I will, if I am in jail, I will sculpt my shit. Like something, I will do something, right? Like I feel like everyone is meant to like leave something more than themselves. Like if you take care of people, like you're the best fucking doctor in the world, you save 1 million fucking people. Like the reality is you're a better person than I am. Like you did a lot more with your life than I am, but like I can't imagine like just helping people being enough. Like I feel like, and maybe it just is a me thing, but I feel like unless you mark like your spot in the world and leave something, like I don't know, it's just all nothing. Like you remember I think we read an article together, I can't remember, but the monkeys that have they found these gigantic stones in the forest, right? Mm-hmm. And they found that these monkeys would go on religious pilgrimage to these rocks, right? Like one monkey at some point X thousands of years ago was at this big rock and he took a small rock and he bashed the big rock, right? And it left a mark. And then over thousands of years, all the other monkeys would go on like a pilgrimage to this spot, and it became like a religious thing. Like, you reach adulthood, you go on your pilgrimage, and you put your mark on the rock, and then you travel back home. Like, I can't imagine not wanting to mark the world with something. Like, to just live and, like, leave. Like, that has a certain amount of romanticism to it, too. To just, like, you observe the world, you're here for a while, and now you're gone. But, to not scar the landscape with something to add to, I just can't imagine feeling that way.
No, I agree. I feel the same way. I don't. Yeah. It's like it's almost a frightening thought to me. Like I get where it can be like romantic in a way, but I don't. It's a scary thing. It's like it's mortality. It's when you face that, it's like you want to something to. It's not even like it feels cliche to say like you want something to survive, but it's not, because it's not even about that. I think it's just.
It might be.
I think also, like you said, something about you want something that reflects your soul. Like that means something to me. Like you want something that matches what you feel or what you see of yourself on the inside. You want to create something that reflects that on the outside. Something that, even if it's just for you to look at, that says like, this was a thought that I had, or this is a feeling that I had, or, like this makes me feel like this is like, like that's why I feel like, when I'm working on this house, it's like, this is an extension of my mind. This is the space that I want to be in.
I think the podcast is that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
As stupid as this is, a trash cat meme podcast that maybe no one will ever listen to, but it's going to be forced to be on Spotify for the next X amount of years. Like, I don't know, but like, I don't know, hearing your thoughts out and who we are, I don't know. Yeah. It just feels important. I just can't imagine not feeling that urge. I just feel like the people who are lost like in that sense. Like you said, like you can't imagine them not having sleepless nights thinking about those things. And you never, like, I don't know, you don't hear people talk about that shit much. And I don't know if it's like people just don't want to, or like there's denial about those like aspects of herself, about being remembered or mortality, or just like not knowing our place in the world, because I feel like no one fucking talks about it, but it feels like the most important thing we go through as stupid people, right?
Yeah.
I just can't think of a more important thing.
It also something comes to mind when I think of that is like, it's like some Ayn Rand shit, or Ayn Rand. I forget how to pronounce her name right, but like the whole, I mean, it's like a real problem in the world where like people that, the stifling of creative freedom and stuff like that, where like people can't express themselves, whether it's a cultural thing or like a, whatever. There's like a, there are places in the world today where people can't express themselves, fully. So like imagine being in a place where you want to be, you feel the need to be, a creative person and to create things, but you literally can't. Like
I think I'd end up dying.
Right.
That reminds me so much like concentration camp shit. Like the people there that died expressing themselves. I can't. To live in like a world, country, community, whatever, where you can't like get that stuff outside of you sounds like just absolutely terror.
Right. That 2112 shit, man.
Man, it's the one of the, that's the one upside to America, right?
So you can,
the one.
Yeah, the one. It's like I've never experienced not. I mean, the closest I've ever come to not feeling comfortable to create something is like, oh, people are going to perceive this in a way that I don't want, or in a way that's not even a way that's like, not appropriate, but like not, like you can't, there's not even things that I would want. Like I told you a while ago, I was making that thing. It was like a terrorist logo or whatever, but I replaced it with like the White House and shit. And it was like, oh, like I'm probably put on a list somewhere for this
already.
Yeah. It's like, it was a thing that I made because I thought it was funny, but like I wouldn't share it because it would be taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was, people were going to read into a thing. Is like, I just thought it was a funny thing to do.
I know I got in a lot of trouble for art as a kid, like grade school, high school, both of those. I know, like always, someone at some point would send my shit to the staff and then a school psychologist.
Of course, time. Yeah. Well, I mean, looking at your own artwork,
yeah, but
you can see.
But
why.
No one. Oh, 100%. But yeah. What always, in retrospect, what I don't understand is how no one actually did anything.
Right.
It's crazy. It's mind-boggling to me. Like, I can't imagine being an adult and like seeing so much of the shit like that both of us probably went through that like wasn't addressed. Right. Mm-hmm. Like, it's pretty wild. I think it's a little different now, but like, man, there's a lot of people that don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty fucking wild.
I know I definitely made some of my later art pieces in high school like after I met you, were like I saw what you were doing. And I was like, oh, I want to do, like, I want to, because I spent so much of my life doing like just realism and shit like that. And I was like, oh, I want to do more like creative shit and trying to like not so much match that, but like match that energy, I guess. So like I drew some really grotesque shit. One of my favorite ones I ever drew was, I want to say I drew it on a plane. It was either on a plane or on a car ride. But it was like it was a woman being impaled by a upside down cross.
I know exactly which one that is.
Yeah, it's one of my
ever forget it.
Yeah, it's grotesque. It's like, but it's one of my favorite things I've ever drawn because it was like one of the first things that made me go like, wow, this is really fucked. And it was well done, I think.
I bet it felt fucking awesome.
It felt really fucking cool. But yeah, I think to myself like, wow, there are definitely people that like I didn't want to show that one to.
Yeah.
For the exact reason of like, oh, what are they gonna think about me about this? And it's like, I know that I'm not like mentally fucked, or or like possessed, but like, I guess I didn't have someone I had to worry about trying to exercise me.
So, I want to ask you more questions about that, but do we want to bring up a related topic?
Yeah, whatever, man. You drive it. Take us there.
All right. So what about, so like we did our free will stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we both kind of fall that like, do what you love, fuck the rest. People should be allowed to do what they want to do. Like, this is where I get a little confused. I just listened to this debate that's kind of viral right now, so people may know it a little bit. But where do we land with like trying to build, right, a society of people that aren't fucking stupid idiots, mm-hmm. that can like be successful and have the tools they need to have to succeed? Where do we draw the line with like freedom and like forcing people to be like equipped for life? Like, do you force kids to go to school? Do you I'm not wording this well, but the debate on is if like the state should have the means to coerce kids to go to school. Like, where the ultimate line of where freedom is drawn between like pure freedom and like a society that functions, anarchy and capitalism. Like, where do we put the line for free will with those kind of things?
Isn't it currently illegal to not enroll your kid in school and stuff like that?
Yeah.
In some kind of educational thing?
Yeah, you have to. If it's not physical school, it has to be homeschooled. There are some religious exceptions, but you still have to prove some form of education or trade being taught. But as a general thing, each state is a little different, but as a general thing, like, our country and the world at large has basically decided, like, you have to go to school, you have to learn certain things, you have to be engaged in society in certain ways. And if you're a shitty parent, you don't do that, that is a problem. Or if you're a kid and you don't want to be caged in those ways, whatever, like, that's a problem, and that the state will do something about it, right? That's kind of where we've landed in the modern day society.
So, my opinion on this is conflicting because...
Same.
I feel like, yes, everybody should... Because, when you're young, of course you don't want to do school and you don't want to do shit like that. You'd rather do more shit that's more fun. But, like, it's definitely important for people to get an education. That being... And it should be not just a right to have an education, it should be like, it should be, I do think it should be I was going to say force, but I think the word force has connotations.
It does.
But it should be necessary for for your kid to receive an education. But that being said, when you have a state-driven education, when your two options are you have a state-driven education or you have a religious, fueled education or funded education, I guess, or homeschool. It's like, I think it's so many things that we learned in school that were just like complete bullshit garbage. It's not important.
Bullshit.
It's like, no one taught you how to,
taxes.
Taxes, how to manage your a budget.
Account.
Yeah, exactly. How to, they teach you the biggest crock of shit about like how, the history of the nation and shit like that. And it's like, all of this was lies.
Yeah, like, dude. If we could review our history books, holy fuck.
Oh my God. And then it's just it's a known thing. Like, everyone knows it's trash, and it just continues to be what's taught.
Right. And I get what you're saying, because it's so important that like we kids or ourselves have an education. So like, even if it's not just for the things you learn, but for the whole social experience
and the discipline of it. And
But here's where I got really confused and frustrated. So the person arguing in this particular debate, I watched like reviews of and stuff. The people arguing for mandatory education, I 100% like agreed with and know they hands down won the argument, right? Mm-hmm. But the people arguing against the mandatories, that's what I feel the most, right? So I think I fall somewhere in the middle, but I don't think it should ever be forced by, because the reality is you're forced by violence, right? That can be on varying degrees, but you have to do it, right?
Yeah.
And even if your parents say you don't have to until you're, I think, 16, you can legally drop out. Like,
yeah. You're a kid. You can test out and shit, or if you really even want to do that. And
right, but you're a kid that's just like a possession. Like you're enslaved to all the adults in your life in this world, right? And you're just forced to do all these things that are good for you because everyone else knows better. This sounds like, I don't know, like a childish perspective, but I can't imagine being a parent and like forcing my kid to do something that they strongly disagreed with.
Right.
I that's not what I want to say.
I think let me give this and see it, because I think I know what you mean. In a somewhat of an example, my one of my coworkers was homeschooled their kid up until like this was the first year that they have enrolled their kid in like a regular school, and because they wanted to give it a try, and it was like, all right, sure, of course, like we'll do that. And the first like couple weeks or so, they were hating it, and they seemed like depressed and whatever, and they. I don't think the kids, that old, they're still like under 10 or something, but it's like they hated it, and they were like, well, we can pull you out of school. Like we can, we homeschooled for this long. Like we can go back to that if that's what you want. Like we're not going to make you do a thing you don't want to do. We just thought this might be good for you to try. And I guess the kid's doing better and they enjoy it now, but it's like that approach of it. And I know that, the parents are enjoying not having to, that's like a huge load off of their time that they can work and make money or, do something else, with their time that they're not, having to, build curriculums and make sure there are kids, doing this shit. And it's like, so I know that they're not, so much looking forward to going back to that, but it's still an option on the table. And the way that she handled it was really well.
I think what more I'm trying to get at, right? Like, I feel like it should be the standard, like, kids go to school, especially at a young age. But I think like I still think like everything should be a choice. Like maybe in this fake idealized world, kids go to school till a certain age, and then at a certain point, most of them choose to live life for experience, right? Like they want to do other things, and then they hit an age of maturity and they decide to go back, right? Like I just can't imagine having a kid and like to have another human being's consciousness and tell them how they have to live. Mm-hmm. Like that sounds so terrible to have to, even if it is for their best, right? Like,
so how do you feel about if instead of letting them decide to quit school, instead, how do you think of like, you go through basic, let's even say elementary school, and whether up to like 5th or 6th grade or something, and then like, instead of continuing that same curriculum, maybe a little bit of that, you're reading and writing and math or whatever. But then you also get more options. So it's instead of just the same shit every year. Yeah. Maybe like vocational shit, and like, start teaching more life skills that are more pertinent to like being a productive member of society.
See, I think like those kind of like changes to the system of education, those granted, I feel like we both feel like complete overhaul. It should be way better. Less kids shouldn't want to leave school. Like kids should want to be in school more, right? But like, even if it was, that like begs the question in the sense, like if the system was better, of course more kids would want to stay. But like if we think of ourselves at those ages, right? Like no matter how cool school was, I can't imagine us wanting to be there, right?
Right. Yeah.
And our parents forced us to, right?
Well, no, and I will say this. There was a time when I was skipping a lot of school, but the only thing I would show up for was art class.
Yeah, and because you wanted to be there.
Because I enjoyed it, whether it was just because I was making something, and also like the people, I had friends in there.
And that's the ideal situation, right? That school is engaging enough for the kids to want to be engaged. But what about like all the kids who, no matter what, are not going to want to be there? Like, do we force? I feel like when we look at like kids as a society, it's like, we know it's best and they have to do the things we decide. Yeah. And that to me is like so hard, because I can't imagine forcing to do do anything that they hated that much, even if it was best for them.
Because that breeds anger and angst, and that when you're forcing someone to do something they don't want to do, that breeds negative character traits kind of shit. Negative personality kind of shit.
But then there's like the certain balance, like as a parent, you have to do a ton of things your kids aren't going to want, right? Like you have to feed them even, when they throw their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I get confused on where the balance is with that. But I do think, so these people making these arguments, I feel like there is a certain amount of like you can't let, you don't want to live in a world where like a 16-year-old kid who wants to kill themselves can just do it at any time, and no adult's going to stop them. The state's not going to get involved. No mental health place is going to put a hold, right? Like you don't want to be in a world without adults forcing something on a kid, even if it's just to save their life, right?
Yeah.
But like, I feel like how we look at, I don't know, controlling another person's consciousness is off too.
Yeah. And I guess that's where I feel like there's compromises that have to be made, at least as a starting point, where it's like you said, like, no matter what you do, there's going to be, there's always going to be something better than school because it's school. But I think that like even like what our school did, like, because I went into our school at 4th grade, and it gave me an outlet from a young age of like, oh, this isn't just, it's school, but it's like different than regular school. It's like, this is fun, something I get to do for like a couple hours a day. Like whether it was, art, or I was in drama for a minute, and I was like, reading scripts and shit, and like that was kind of fun.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Like the first 2 years of school, and then it was like at 6th grade, it was like you have to pick one or the other because you're going to get double bells.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh, like I kind of liked the drama class was fun, but like I'd never gotten into any of the, school performances or anything, and I really didn't. I got, the stage fright and shit anyways, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I've liked drawing much, much more. I
want to pose a hypothetical after.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So like, what do we do, whether it's kids or adults, like addiction stuff, like whatever, like what do you do if you have a kid who no matter what isn't going to want to do what you tell them, or an adult that no matter what they're going to want to get drunk or high and they just can't fit in at all? Like at what point do we have like the right to force someone to do what we think is best? Because that for me is where it gets tricky, because like,
well, yeah,
but it's become like we've decided as a collective, right, that there's a certain amount we'll tolerate from people not doing what we want, and then after that we can do whatever the fuck we want to get them to do what we want.
Yeah,
like that's kind of how things are. And it sucks because you can't argue against like if you argue against any force, it sounds like, free love, no rules, anarchy, right, bullshit. Yeah. But it's also like, I don't know. I know you wouldn't, like, if I know it would be so tricky for you if you had a kid who didn't want to do anything you said, or like just was out of control. Like, even if you needed to force them to do certain things, like it would be so fucking hard. Like you wouldn't feel good about it.
Oh man, I used to watch my every time I'd go over my cousin's house, and my niece, one of them, she wouldn't eat dinner. She just would not. She'd sit there, and even be like something that she like fucking pizza or something that she likes, and she would just like cry and complain, and it was like the same thing every night. Like for years, it was just the same thing. She would just complain and cry, and then eventually, they bargained, and it was just like you're not going to leave the table until you have 3 bites of a thing.
Yeah,
you have to eat something, and it would take like hours, and like we'd all finish our meal, and like we'd get like dessert or whatever, and we'd then we'd like just be talking smack, and they're just sitting there, looking at their food and like, all sad and pouting and shit. And it's like you do this every night, and it's like, and then they whatever it was, I don't like that. I don't like this. And it's like, you just had this yesterday and you said it was good. It's like, the fuck are you talking about? You don't like this. Just dumb shit like that. But they would, and you could see them like pulling the fucking hair out of their head because it's like, it's just the obstinance, and it's stressful because like you can't like take the fucking spoon and shove it down their throat. See, you want to,
but I think the exception to that is like, as a parent, you wouldn't actually have to force them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense, like, just because you don't have to force them doesn't mean you have to give them other food, right? Like, if that kid wants to starve themselves for as long as possible, they'll eat what they were supposed to eat eventually, right?
That you can't starve your kid, though.
Right, but if you can, I think it would be fair to starve them if food is there that they could eat that they just don't want to eat, right? Like, just because it's not the food they want, it's not the ice cream they wanted to eat. If it's food that will sustain them and is healthy, I think it's fair to like let them starve themselves till they decide to eat. Like, I think there should be like a greater expansion on free will, to the extent like we don't stop people from doing things unless it's life and death, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if a kid is not going to go to school, like that, you start them in school, you hope it's enough, the system can be better enough to keep them engaged and like it. But if a person chooses not to, or a person chooses to fucking drink, whatever, like, that we can't stop someone until it is life and death. I feel like there has to be a limit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that, I think the limit should be a lot wider, even if it means there's going to be a lot of bad outcomes. Because there would be more bad outcomes, right?
It's not so much that I think the limit should be wider. I think that, like you said, like, the kids like get into drinking and shit. It's like they have plans for that now. Like, you go to, like, for me, it was like I got busted with some weed when I was 17 and I went to teen court, so I didn't get like actual criminal charges, but I had to go to a thing for like 8 weeks. And I had to go to like, the class about drugs, and then a class, it was like, for 8 weeks, I had to go to 2 different meetings, and it was like mock court trial shit where there's other kids that did way stupider, dumber shit than I ever did.
Doesn't that seem crazy?
It's crazy, but I feel like what I'm saying is like there are methods that they're working on that are different than like, because they're telling me like, you can't, like, don't do drugs and don't, be drinking before you're 21. But like, what? No one's like, I'm not in jail. I'm not being like on house arrest and shit. Well, that's the thing, is like, it's not that I was given the option of, I can either.
But the option wasn't an option. It was between a form of violence, which would be incarceration, putting you in a cage like an animal, or you go through a system they chose. It's not that, like, granted, I don't want to let like some teenager be into super heavy drugs and nothing happen, right?
Well,
that is what I'm saying. I want that to happen. It should be like, it has to be up to them to make, like, those kind of consequences don't change anything. It only makes things worse.
I think that there is a merit involved to some kind of, because it not so much the whole like teen court program thing or whatever, but like education, like okay, the DARE program's a joke, but like having an actual like a thing of like, okay, this is what you're doing. These are the consequences of that if you continue to do this. Like whatever, you're going to find a way to do this regardless. But like, this is what's likely to happen. Like, these are, real statistics. These are real examples. These are whatever. Like, don't be a fucking narc about it like DARE is, but like explain like this is what can happen. Like, be open about it. Understand that like there's,
well, like a practical version of what you're alluding to would be like a world of like interventionists and socialists, that like social workers that get involved in like when people aren't obeying the rules, we allow them to speak to specialists that try to help them, right?
Yeah.
Which I think would be a good thing. I could very much get behind that idea of it, right? But currently that's not how we address those problems.
Right.
Like sending a kid to a teen drug court or whatever is very, very opposed to the idea you just mentioned, right? Like,
right. Well,
because
I brought that up only to say that like I feel like it's not the right thing, but I feel like it's still a step in a better direction than just like you're going to jail.
Yeah,
immediately.
I could get behind that, and I think that's where like the balance would be at, but it doesn't feel balanced when even the choices to get out of violence, right? To get out of like violent outcomes from choosing not to do something, all the non-violent options by the state are still like enforced with violence, right?
Right.
Like as a societal thing, like
you still have to face a punishment of some sort.
Yeah, it's still another human being telling you how you have to live and experience your life.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to let like my teenage son shoot dope like I did, right? But I don't think I could physically stop them from doing it either.
Yeah, you
right?
can't. Yeah, you can't shelter them. It makes it worse.
Right. Like you went to
need
that
to defy you will be the downfall
fuel.
Of that.
Yeah. Like you went to that drug court thing, right? And you ultimately chose not to. But to me, that is not evidence of it working. It is complete evidence of you, of your decisions, right?
I absolutely continued to smoke weed and drink.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And ultimately you like got away from it, right? Or found healthy balances, right? Because that's who you are. That's what your experiences allowed. I would have done that anyways. Right. If you were violently kept away from it forever, and there were these things imposed on you by the adults in your life, society, the state, cops, whatever, it only would have made it worse.
Yeah, it would have antagonized the problem.
And had such severe repercussions on employment, on social like everything.
Even if it was something that like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that, but like now you're still angry at the world.
Yeah, so I guess my point of view is, right, like that there should be a much larger expansion on how much like wiggle room we give to freedom, right? Like that, and I see how that could lead, like if there was less involvement in kids' lives or like mentally ill people, right? Like that are on the streets, that we like, if there was a lot more room for freedom, maybe we're getting involved in a lot of those cases a lot less often, but it gives people the free will for change, right? There might be more negative outcomes, but I think overall it allows for people to choose how they want to be in a way that is better.
Now, here's a thought, and I mean, like, because what that makes me think of is still like in Germany, like you can, the drinking age is 14 or whatever. It's younger. You can drink before you can drive a car, kind of thing. And it's like the outside looking at that, my opinion on that is like, well, yeah, that makes it, like by the time that you're able to drive and shit, it's like drinking's not a big deal anymore. It's like, it's not like a fucking, like, yeah, you still might go out and like have drinks or whatever, but like, it's not like this huge thing you got to keep secret and whatever. It's not like a weird taboo thing.
That's all.
So
like
even
stigma related.
Yeah. There's like, an openness about even talking about stuff like that, or like talking about like alcohol and shit like that. It's like people don't do that with, you know, their kids or whatever, that like in a realistic way, other than like, oh, it'll ruin your life and shit like that. Like, okay, but like, why? Like, explain to me like what it does. And like, you know, don't just, you demonize something and then that becomes like when you tell a kid they can't have something, of course that's what they want.
Could I clarify that it seems like what you're suggesting is intervention over coercion, right? That we don't like just let someone do something that is terrible for them without caring, right? You're saying more, we let them, but it's addressed, or
right. Well, I think if
for their benefit.
More of what I'm saying is like even before it becomes an issue, it becomes like a thing that they're faced with, that like, oh, like the kid's doing drugs, so then this. I think instead of that, you have better programs that are like, you know, like it's a part of education systems where it's like, this is the real facts about, and of course this is still like ideal world shit, but it's like, it's not going to happen overnight, but it's like, you know, this is the truth about, you know, alcohol and shit like that. Like, and even like it should come more from parents and shit too. And it's like, you know, there's also like a stigma about like the cool parent that's like, oh, they can do it as long as they do it in my house, it's all right.
Yeah,
you know,
that's not like so shitty.
Yeah, but it's so what I mean is more like having that open conversation about like, oh, you want to know about drugs? Like, let me know. Like, we'll talk about it. Like,
right,
you know,
like,
you know, you want to try shit like that? Like, let me know. We'll talk about it. And because my mom told me when she was little, like she had all of her sisters and brother like were way older than her. And they were like, you know, if you ever want to try anything like drugs or whatever, like come to us, you know, we'll do it with you or whatever. And later on, of course, she asked them and they're like, well, what would you have said if I came to you and like, I want to try, you know, these pills or try like harder drugs and shit. They're like, we would have talked you out of it.
Yeah.
You know, we would have, you know, talked you out of it, you know, some way. But
see, to me, that makes so much more sense. Like, I can't imagine like the parent who like, finds their kids cigarettes and crushes them, right? Like that's a normal, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that. Like that seems insane to me.
Yeah.
Right? Like how could you like force someone to live how you want, opposed to like trying to like connect and convince them to do what's better for them. And if you can't convince them, like you're going to have to watch them smoke a lot of cigarettes, I guess. But like, I can't imagine forcing someone, right?
I don't think it's wrong. I mean, I guess it depends also, like, you know, I was going to say how old the kid is. Like if they're like 16, 17, it's like whatever. But like if they're living in your house and, you know, you whatever, I can say I don't disagree with the idea of like, take their fucking cigarettes away. But even before or like while you're doing that, have a conversation about like, this is why it's and not, you know, like where you tell them I'm doing this for your good and whatever. That's not a conversation. What I mean is like literally like, let's talk about this. Like, you know, why do you feel the need to do this? Are you doing it because you just think it looks cool? Are you doing this because, you know, what are you stressed out? Like, let's talk. Yeah, whatever. Like, let's talk about shit.
Long day at school.
Yeah, long day at school.
See, in this world, your
math
kids
class is getting to me.
In this world, your kids would smoke on the weekends at parties, and my 10-year-old is smoking a pack a day. I'm going to UDF to buy packs of Pall Malls.
Buy the carton for you.
Oh, fuck. But I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's interesting. I don't really know where I fall. I can't imagine, like, with my own kid that I would, like, be okay with them doing anything. Yeah. But I just think as a, like, larger societal thing, we have to let people make more of their own decisions without the threat of something.
Yeah.
I feel strongly that way.
I mean, even without even with an implied threat of like when you take, when you force kids into religion.
Oh, dude, it's child abuse. It's fucking child abuse to tell a kid they're going to hell. That's 100%. No one will ever convince me differently.
You have to join this cult or you're going to go to hell.
Dude, it's fucking child abuse. I feel so strong. I fucking love my parents to death. It was child abuse. Yeah. It just fucking is. Like most kids maybe like can't process that kind of shit, or like it's just normal so they don't think about it. But if you have a kid who understands those ideas, it's fucking abuse.
Yeah.
I feel so strongly about that.
Let me ask you this, and I think this is a fun question. I'm conflicted about this a little bit.
Okay.
Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and shit.
Oh, I know. It's a hard one.
I
think I'm against though.
I agree. I think it's fun.
It's a bad trick.
Yeah, I think it's fun to be like, oh, there's this character Santa Claus, and the story is he brings the toys and whatever, and that's a thing. And that's like fun for like as a story, but I don't think there's anything wrong with saying like, oh, it's just a story.
Yeah. It's like if you tell them it's real, you're basically playing the most long-term prank you could on a kid ever. It's like a long con. Yeah. Like I fucked you over years in the making. Like,
yeah. I mean, like by the time
you can't trust adults, you can't trust in fairy tale. Like you just fucked that kid over so fucking hard.
Like I found out I think early enough that, and it wasn't like a big letdown. It was just like, yeah, like we're Santa Claus. And it was like, okay, I definitely don't remember having like any negative feelings after learning that. I think even by then, like I was like skeptical enough that it, like, not that I was like, Santa Claus isn't real. It was just like, okay, I get it.
I sat up
because like there's definitely like, did you know anybody that was like way too old to believe in Santa Claus and they definitely still did? Yeah. It's like
the same way if kids too old and they believe in God. It's the same thing. You just got tricked so hard. Your parents pranked you so good, kid. That's child abuse because that kid's getting picked on and shit and they don't know why. They're, they hang on the words that you say because they're your parent. You're their parent, and like you are like the authority figure in their life, dude.
So like when you lie to them about that, it's like I get it. There's like a fantasy of it, but like kids make believe all the time. They don't need you to tell them one more thing that they believe.
Right.
For the sake of, it's a holiday tradition. Like, it can just be a holiday tradition that you tell this story and, it's this big goofy thing and, have them, be a part of that. I don't know.
And they always find out without you telling them, which makes it like your first big time. They've caught you in a lie.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure my sister was like, Santa Claus isn't really, whistle blowing. And then my parents had to like look at me like, yeah, Santa Claus isn't real. And it's like, okay, yeah, whatever.
That's a million times better than finding out at school.
Yeah. And then everyone laughs at you.
Yeah. But dude, I was so pissed when I found out Santa Claus wasn't real because my parents went to bed and I stayed up all night eating cookies and smoking Pall Malls, waiting for this fat fuck to come down the chimney and give me my presents. I smoked a full pack and he never fucking showed up. I was so pissed.
And you were 10?
Yep, and that's when I never stopped smoking after that. That was it.
And that's why I still smoke today.
You never showed up,
and that's why I started using drugs.
You never showed up, man.
Still waiting on that Santa Claus. Still waiting on that N64.
Right. I don't think I could tell my kids though. I don't think I could do it. It would just feel too weird. It's just too weird.
I'm not sure if I mentioned on here or not. Like, I know I think I've mentioned to you, like, I never talked about like religion so much with my niece and nephew. Like, I would mention,
I actually have heard you dance around it.
Yeah. Like I'd never really offered up stuff about religion, but if they brought it up, then I would say, like, I don't really believe in that. Or, I don't, whatever. But like recently one of my nephew said something about like, oh, I don't think I believe in God. And it's like, dude, I don't believe in God either. Like, I don't why, like, I wanted to know from him, like, why don't you believe in God? And this is like one of the main things that I think people start off with, like, if there's so much bad in the world, like, why, like, how do I believe in God? And it's like, dude, that's just the start of it. Like, let's get into it.
But that's like honestly, that could be like a really traumatic moment in a person's life. Yeah. And it can mean so much to have an older adult in your life who's like, hey, it's going to be okay. Yeah. Like, that's huge.
And I still wanted to, like, I guess fuel them a little bit, and not in the, against believing in God, but of just like, don't listen to what I'm saying and just not believe in God because I'm saying this. Like, if you're going to not believe in God, or if you don't believe in the existence of a God, do it because you actually feel it.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't believe anything just because other people are telling it to you. You should believe it because you think it to be true.
Yeah, he's going to have to come to conclusions on his own.
Yeah, that's like research other religions. I think there's something beautiful in there's some little beautiful thing in every religion. Definitely. Like, find those parts and, study that, look for that. But like, just think of it, like, I always like the thing in like the movie Dogma where there's like, don't think about beliefs. Like, don't have beliefs, have ideas.
Yeah.
That stuck with me a long time ago, and I really think that's a good way of looking at, I mean, life in general, but definitely like faith kind of stuff. It's like, don't put your faith into everything. Like, just to have ideas about it and have, think about things and concepts and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I feel like that's a strong enough point for me to wrap up on.
Yeah, I think we did good today. We definitely went over what we were expecting to, and that's good.
Way fucking longer.
We did good.
Just fun.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed talking with you, man.
Fuck yeah. Got any dishonors this week?
I sure do, but I can't think of anyone specific. I'll just put out general hatred.
Yep, general hatred for everyone. Thanks again for listening. Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thanks, John.
We don't hate you, John. We don't hate you for anyone that's listening. We like you.
You're pushing it with this stupid fucking album cover you want, dude. You're killing me with it. He's wrote this beautiful album and he wants to do a meme album cover. I'm like, you can't do this.
Hey, don't force him to do whatever he doesn't want to do.
Exactly. I'll go against his free will, commit him to the state, put him in a mental facility, and then make the album cover.
You're in court trying to give them a reason to lock him up. Like, Your Honor, if you take a look at Exhibit A, this is what he wants to use as an album cover.
This cat meme as an album cover, and I strongly object, Your Honor.
Lock him up. Throw away the key.
That's basically the world we live in.
Make sure to check out the show page at Trashcats Trashcast on Instagram for news and art from the show. You can also check out Facebook for the memes.
If you're super bored, you can check out my trash art on Instagram at Skyzix, SKYZSEX. I really enjoy saying those letters. It's always fun. Shout out to no one else special because we don't do honorables on freestyles anymore, but they will be at the start of our next one. And tune in next Wednesday for our episode on, should we announce it?
Yeah, go for it.
We're going to do something on volumetric capture in video games and movies where they use a shit ton of cameras to create a form of 3D video that you can navigate, like free move a camera perspective through video, and all the cool things that can mean for both video games and movies, as well as future applications. That looks super fucking wild. So that'll be awesome to talk about.
Fuck yeah, man. That's going to be all for us today. Stay classy, eat trashy.
Yep, go fast, eat trash.